making this relationship work. I'm not going to talk to their wives, or they're not going to cross me for money. You know, things that typically ruin relationships, we're not going to do that. So why are people steering away? Because of the fact that it's fearful to be committed to something when the converse may not be solicited, when it may not be the same thing. But if two people have committed minds to make it work, that relationship or marriage is just going to flourish. You know, and my parents 35 years in, and they can speak on it because of the fact that they were committed. You know, it got rough. I remember as a kid, they went through some things, but I don't like going over there because they're so happy in a sense of, I remember for their 25th anniversary, I got them some edible tattoos, like chocolate, whatever. So like a month later, my dad was like, Max, you got some more of that tattoo stuff? We'll use it all up. I'm like, oh, but it's a reflection of the love. You know, that's a good thing. Like, isn't that a good problem to have? We ran out of edible tattoos 30 years later.
Do you think women can encourage men to, you know, pursue relationships more or be committed?
Yes, they can, but my response to that, and this is a hard thing to say even as a, you know, relationship, you know, I won't say mogul, but just, you know, someone who has knowledge in it.
Right.
My advice to women is they have to get out of their own way. When they get out of their own way and it's not the world according, like, again, this is something I was going to share later, but 90 out of 100 is not an F. Watch this. What am I saying to that? And ladies, and really, I hope you all listen to this. You have a list of 100 things, and if he doesn't have at least 90, that's an F. Last time I checked, 90 on a test, it's an A or A minus. You're still going to get an A on a report card with a 90. But for most women, 90 out of 100 is an F. Now, we won't even talk about the problem that you have a list of 100 things that'll probably change tomorrow. But just put that in perspective. If women go out of their way and realize that 90 is actually an A, those women would be married now. Women say they can't find men. There are men out there. The problem is that man is not good enough for you. And if a woman would acknowledge that that man is not good enough for you, and that co-concept of not being good enough is because, again, he got an 89 on your test.
So you don't think that men sometimes could take partial blame as well?
Yeah, but men take blame. However, men are obvious. You know, men are
explain men are obvious.
Well, men are so obvious and so gullible. You know, they can't. They always get in trouble. You know what I mean? Like they always telling themselves. You know, the cliche is give him enough rope, he'll hang himself. You know, if men hang themselves. You know, they always do. We always do. We're not the complex ones. Go back to those two needs I told you earlier. Again, he'll find that way. It's funny. I had a guy who saw the book on a little stand or whatever, and I just happened to walk into this establishment. And he was like, "Who wrote this foolishness or whatever?" So when I'd say, "Hey, brother, good to see you," and he's like, "Oh," so he tried to clean it up. But nonetheless, the funny part was, after he read it, he said, "Marv, for the right woman, I would say all these things." And some of those things, like for example, I have better odds of finding a grain of sugar and a tablespoon of salt than find someone as happy as you make me in my life.
Yeah, see, isn't that just sweet?
Yeah, so you know, like for example, but like so a lot of guys think that's a little too mushy. But he said, Marvin, you know, from the white woman, I would say all those things and then some. So why am I saying that? For the white woman, a man will do anything for her. If she took care of those one, two, and that third need, you know, she took care of those basic three, she would have him eating out of her hand. The problem is, men always want women to stay the same. Women always want men to change.
And I definitely can agree with that. But what about the women out there that are cooking, that are cleaning, and they're there for their man and being supportive, but you just have a man that's just not giving back?
You know, my response to that, this is a hard thing to say, but all that crazy stuff or that thing, all those things he wasn't doing or that way, she saw that on the front end. She just thought it was cute and overlooked it. Conversely, as a man, I think about my failed relationships I've had, all that craziness that kind of surfaced. I saw that in the first month or two. I just thought it was cute or, you know,
It'll
it's
go
going to
away.
get better, it'll go away, not realizing that not only is it going to compound, it's going to exponentiate the more you're in it. So I'm speaking on both sides. Just as you mentioned that woman who has those things, she liked that roughneck That's what
Who's
attracted
to
her.
say she was a roughneck?
No. I'm saying she liked him. You know
Right,
that he was
right.
hard and just get over here, woman. She liked that stuff early on. She thought it was cute. But now that that's the way he is, so it goes both sides. We both are guilty for not looking at that which is right in front of us.
Well, how can women, encourage men to be more expressive about their feelings? Because there's a lot of times when you never know that a person is interested because they never communicate. And then when they see you with someone else, they're like, well, I've always liked you. But if a guy doesn't communicate, you snooze, you lose.
Well, my answer to that is the simple form of being a counselor, in the simplest form. The first rule of counseling is to listen. When a man wants to convey his feelings or is sensitive, when it's cut off, but he's trying to express himself, and you already, who wants to deal with that? Men's ego is very, very sensitive as it is. It's actually smaller than, it's smaller than you think. Let me just say it like that. But it has more nerve endings than, But the point I'm making is, it's so fragile. That's why we go to war and build all these buildings to protect it. But if a woman is smart enough to tap into it, she'll have him wrapped around his hand. Better example, another couple been married 50 years. My former girlfriend asked her, how do you keep this man 50 years in? She said, the same thing I told you in so many words. Now, she was a little more crass, and I can't really disclose of it, but she said, in so many words, although I know he's full of crap, he'll never know it. That's, as funny as that sounds,
that's tight, but it's right.
That's tight, but it's right. She said, I know he's full of crap, but he'll never know it.
Well, before, we're running out of time.
Okay.
Could you sing a little something for us? Did I just put you on the spot?
No, I don't mind.
You don't mind? Give us a little
that's-
something.
you know, it's-
Serenade me, baby.
Yeah. It's got to be real. Girl, I could write a book on how you're making me feel. And I wrote it just for you.
Uh-oh. Hey, now, 3 steps in a circle. Well, can you tell our viewing audience where they can find you? Get your Facebook information or email?
Yeah, everything. I'll be at Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Facebook, Marl Author or Marl-Author, or Marvin Lawton, Marvin Lawton. That's probably the easiest, but Marl-Author. You can find me on Facebook, and then also Twitter is just Marl Author, and Instagram is Marl Author. I kept it very simple. So, yeah.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to reading your book, and I'm not finished with you yet because I have to read the book, and then, once I, read the book, I will definitely have you back on another show, and we're going to be talking about relationships and probably have a battle of the sexes. You've seen the light side of Tyra right now.
Right.
Well, that's all we have for today. I'm your host, Tyra Jackson, and you're watching Street Therapy. Until next time, so long.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You deserve a round of applause. You deserve a round of applause. Yeah. You deserve a round of applause. You deserve a round of applause. Mama, you deserve a round of applause. You deserve a round of applause. Yeah. Dad, you deserve a round of applause. You deserve a round of applause. Grandpa, rest in peace. You deserve a round of applause.